Hello, Apes, and welcome to screencast number 9 on Chapter 7, Environmental Policy Making and Decisions and Problem Solving. This is the conclusion to the chapter. Yippee, you can cheer. Not so loud, I can hear you over here. So we're going to look at how we can harness market dynamics to promote sustainability. And one of the things that we can do is offer financial incentives and market dynamics to obtain these policy goals. So one of the things that you've heard me say before is eco-labeling, and this is the practice where sellers who use sustainable practices in growing and harvesting or manufacturing their products, they can advertise this fact on their labels. And they do this so that they can hope to win the consumer support from their buyers. They can put down where it was grown as one of the things on the eco-labeling. They require disclosure for information for the users, for the consumers. They can also spread this in the free market as more and more businesses seek to win consumer confidence and to outcompete less sustainable product brands. So that's one way. Another is something called permit trading, and this is where the government creates a market in permits for an environmentally harmful activity. There could be companies, utilities, or industries that buy, sell, or trade the rights to conduct the activity. They try to decrease the emissions of air pollutants, and when they do, the government might grant them emission permits. So they can trade these emission permits to other companies that might be struggling. The emissions trading system, or the cap and trade emissions trading system, the government first determines the over amount of pollution it will accept, and then it issues permits to the polluters that will allow them to each emit a certain fraction of that amount. Polluters may buy, sell, or trade these permits with other polluters as one of the ways of controlling and making it sustainable. So an example of this, let's say you own an industrial plant that releases 10 units of pollution, but you find that you can actually make your plant a little bit more efficient and you're only releasing 5 units. So you have a surplus of permits, and they could be valuable to some other plant owner who's having trouble reducing pollution and wants to expand production, so you can sell your extra permits to them. So that is an incentive that can be used. The Clean Air Act that we've talked about mandates lower emissions of sulfur dioxide, and sulfur dioxide, we'll be learning, is a major contributor to acid rain, acid deposition. So sulfur dioxide emission comes from all different kinds of sources, but because of these cap and trade policies that have gone into play, it has decreased by 67%. So that's really good. That's a great benefit to this. We have seen emissions decrease by 43%. Cuts were obtained cheaper and more efficiently than the command and control regulations, with no effects on supply or economic growth. So we're seeing that the cap and trade benefits outweigh the cost 40 to 1. When we look at the markets and carbon emissions that have started, we're seeing that the permit prices have been a little bit too low to be effective, so they're going to raise those up. So here is a graph on permit trading that shows reduced emissions of sulfur dioxide since 1990. As of 2010, the emissions from the U.S. sources participating in the program have also dropped. So municipalities are going to charge residents for waste disposal according to the amount of waste throw away. I know here in the town that I live in, we can get a larger trash can, and that larger trash can means that our waste taxes are higher. Or we go to the smaller one and we save a little bit. Cities tax disposal and costly items like tires and motor oil because they're hazardous, so they have to deal with them differently. Some cities will give rebates for buying water efficient appliances, or they have new refrigerators now that actually have what they call a Sabbath mode, and it reduces the amount of energy that is used on Saturday and Sunday. It's less costly than upgrading water treatment plants to do that. Power utilities give discounts for buying efficient light bulbs and appliances. We've got those new light bulbs that are mercury based that reduce the amount of electricity you use. It's less costly than building the new power plants. So, whoops, went too far. So in conclusion, we use environmental policy as a problem-solving tool. And in order to make it an effective tool, we apply our science, ethics, and economics. We've gone from the conventional command and control approach, and we're using legislations and regulations to make policies. That's the most common. We still do have in place the tort law. As long as it can be effective, it's available. We allow the market-based policies, and we gave examples of some of those, and we allow them to continue to be developed. And then environmental issues that span political boundaries, we look for international cooperation to help with those. So that ends this chapter. That ends your summer work. I will see you in September. Enjoy the rest of your summer.